Canada's nickel lifeline versus Washington's tariff wall. Numbers from Statistics Canada reveal Canadian exports to the U.S. are nearing record lows. Every year, $3.9 billion worth of nickel from Sudbury, Ontario, quietly powers America's electric vehicle ambitions, until August, when one signature from the man in the White House turned that lifeline into a liability. Trump's 20% EV tariff didn't just target China. It blindsided Canada, the neighbor we trade with, watch hockey with, and have called our special partner for decades. No exemption, no negotiation, just a tariff wall high enough to block common sense. Ottawa didn't respond with angry tweets. It began drafting trade weapons. For decades, the Ontario-Detroit nickel route has been the silent backbone of America's battery belt. Every year, 185,000 tons of nickel copper or move south, feeding U.S. battery plants with $3.9 billion worth of cathode material. That's not a deficit, that's a lifeline. But Washington treated it like a bargaining chip in a political game. Here's the math. A single 86 kilowatt-hour SUV battery pack needs about 38 kilograms of nickel, 80% of every cell. At $20,400 per ton, that's $775 in nickel per pack. With Trump's 30% tariff, add another $230 just across the border. The cost jumps to $950 to $1,020 per battery, slashing GM's projected margins from 10.1% to 8.3%. That loss alone is expected to cut 94,000 EV sales in 2026, according to Arena's July forecast. Instead of protecting American jobs, the tariff raises prices, cuts profits, and makes U.S. EVs less competitive. It's like flooring the gas pedal, then blaming the brakes when you crash. Canada's counterpunch. By late July, Ottawa unveiled a four-part retaliation plan. 15% export tax on raw nickel, hitting U.S. cathode makers who've enjoyed duty-free Sudbury metal for years. Carbon tracking for cathode exports. Only Ontario's low-emission, hydro-powered nickel gets the NAFTA fast lane. Dirtier sources take the long road. $257 million investment. Fund, boosting LFP battery tech along the Quebec-Ontario corridor, reducing nickel dependency. Special tax breaks. Anchoring Stellantis LG's 20 GWh Windsor cell plant to keep high-value manufacturing at home. The Canadian Expenditure Office predicts these measures could shift $1.8 billion in exports from U.S. buyers to South Korea and the EU by 2027. Nickel finds new homes. In the first half of 2025, Canada's nickel sulfate exports rose 23%, with U.S. market share falling. South Korea and Germany stepped in. Ontario's refined nickel emits just 4.2 tons of CO2 per ton of metal, compared to Indonesia's 36 tons and China's 18. That matters. The EU's 2026 carbon border tax, €115 per ton CO2, could punish U.S. EVs built with dirty nickel, pricing them out of European markets. Washington's choices. Analysts see three paths. Exempt Canada, protecting the Ontario-Detroit battery artery. Double down. Keep tariffs high, risking supply loss to Europe and Asia. Compromise. Reduce tariffs, patch the Minerals Alliance, and hope the EU delays its carbon tax. GM is already cutting 2026 EV output by 50,000 units, a $3.2 billion hit. Tariffs have pushed the F-150 Lightning's projected 2026 price to $72,500, making gas-powered trucks the cheaper, more appealing option. The middle class promised affordable clean cars is now priced out entirely. The bigger picture. Ontario isn't pleading for exemptions. It's selling to whoever pays and values clean supply. Europe wants green minerals. South Korea is already increasing orders. While Washington builds tariff walls, Ontario builds trade bridges and controls the center of the mineral chessboard. Nickel is no longer just a metal, it's leverage. And Canada is using it. The U.S., meanwhile, is watching its battery belt bleed supply and its EV future drift overseas. The real question now, if America keeps shutting the door on allies, How long before they stop knocking?